So, how's everyone doing tonight? Wait a few minutes. Mm. So, who's all out there? I see we got one person in the house. Who's all out there? I want to talk about my live stream I just did. Live chat. You should be able to do live chat. Let's see here. Live chat. I'll message. Okay, live chat is active, so it should be active. Really? I didn't know that. I'm using my phone, so I don't have access to some features that I normally would have. Uh, yeah, this is like definitely different than what. Let's see here. Last live chat was set up with some type of child protection. I don't know. I don't. Everything seems to be running fine now. So, how you doing tonight, Elizabeth? I'm talking about my last live stream when I was out in the woods this last time, where it seemed like the woods was more growing out. I mean, there was a lot of. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Uh, my last live stream when I was out in the woods, there was creatures out there pounding on the trees. The Sasquatch were knocking on trees constantly the whole time I was out there. Uh, I heard like a lot of chanting and stuff, but nothing picked up on the live stream, and it was or the video I did. It wasn't a live stream. I didn't go live. I just did a video, and I used my helmet cam that I usually use for my bike videos. I'm putting together a bicycle that hopefully will have a nice, strong engine on it to get me out to the woods, deeper into the woods. Yeah, which is a video. It wasn't a live stream, but it was. But then I have a live stream too that I did a couple weeks ago. So, but man, there's a lot of different creatures out there. My boss said he wants to show me some swampland. The swampland in the area that's on his property. He said there's a lot of definitely creatures down there. I want to go down there and explore that whenever I get a chance to. That would be quite interesting. I would definitely do a video down there. I don't know if I can live stream from there because he said his cell phone doesn't pick up any signal down in that area. So, but I have to if I can pick up a signal with my cell phone, I will be able to do a live stream from that location. I've never been down there. I've never been walked through there, so I don't know what's down there, what creatures are down there, if any. But I figured during the day, that's probably where they go and they sleep because man don't go in there, so they got that place to themselves. But I seen and heard some serious stuff during that video, and it's like yeah, I'm in an area where it's I overlaid the Bigfoot sightings and Sasquatch sightings in the area where I'm actually searching it, and it said there were like 400 or 500 sightings in that area just in the last 2 years. It means there's, I mean, I picked up prints there. I had prints, and I was going to try to take the camera and get them prints on camera, but the problem is you could just barely see them, just barely make them out. They were old prints, and I want something that's fresh. I mean, I know eventually being out there long ago. I'm gonna talk to my landlord, see if I can put a small cabin or a small hut or a small shed out there in the swampy marsh area, and use that kind of as my basis and maybe camp overnight out there. Because I'm gonna tell you, those creatures being out there, I'm gonna have to have some kind of protection other than the car. You know, I'm gonna have to have a nice solid structure in order to get out there. So, but I am definitely gonna be doing that. Um, I will be going out there. We found out that there are bobcat in my area. In the area that we are, we haven't seen bobcat there in years. There have been no signs, but the DNR said there's like been numerous sightings of bobcat in that area. So I'm gonna have to start taking a weapon with me. I still won't take a gun. When's the next ghost hunt? You know, I've been thinking about that. I want to do a ghost hunt out in those woods where those graves are, those grave sites are. Because there are grave sites in the woods where I Bigfoot hunt at. And I'm just wondering if some of the sounds and stuff I hear and some of the voices I hear are the spirits out there. Because my boss said that he's seen what he thought was an apparition out there. He's never seen a ghost, and he had described it to me. He said what he's seen, the person he's seen was kind of see through. So it was like, yeah, I know it was an apparition. He says, well, I was probably just seeing stuff, you know. But I would definitely do another ghost hunt. I would be doing a ghost hunt. I got a couple spots I can do ghost hunt. Yeah, I really want to do a spirit box out in that area. Only because the grave sites are there. Normally, you know, you get these other YouTubers that use spirit boxes during an actual Bigfoot hunt, and I'm sorry, but Bigfoot does not talk through a spirit box. It just don't happen. You have ghosts that talk through a spirit box. That's why they call it a spirit box, not a Sasquatch box. Um, they use PKE meters to pick up Sasquatch, which is BS. What they're doing is picking up electromagnetic uh, pulses or waves, and they're trying to say it's Sasquatch, but it's not. It's actually they're in it. Usually, wherever Sasquatch are, they actually have uh, paranormal and Sasquatch actually attract each other. We don't know how or what's the common attraction, but you know, it's like we don't know these creatures well enough, or we don't know enough about the paranormal world to answer that question. Um, I mean, but I would be doing a ghost hunt out there. But I'm gonna have to be careful while doing a ghost hunt out there, only because of the fact that there are Sasquatch and other creatures out there. Uh, so I'm gonna have to be very careful. Plus, if I go into the marsh area, the swamp area, what he calls the marsh or the swamp or whatever you want to call it, it's just a really wetland type area. I'm gonna have to be careful in there because I've never been in there, and usually those are where a Sasquatch and normally those are where the caves are. I found that are in the ground are at is near that area. I haven't been quite in that area, but I'm gonna go in there, and my boss is gonna take me back in there, and I'll see what I can get back in there. See what kind of evidence I can get. Um, well, I catch a Bigfoot. I don't know. It's everyone's goal to get the picture of Sasquatch. You know, Bigfoot. You know, it's everyone's goal to get an actual apparition. I mean, on one of my videos, I got I got an actual apparition. I put the picture up, when I was living in that one house. I got the apparition going up the stairs, and that's my famous picture I'm known for. I've got a couple of Sasquatch pictures, old ones from years ago, but I'm gonna get some fresh stuff. I'm gonna get some stuff from this area. Um, there are other creatures in this area, cryptids, that I really want to get on. Now I got on my intro, on my original intro, the one with a bent tree. That bent tree was created by a Sasquatch. Yes, they do. Oh yeah. Yes, Lamont Sherry. They are attracted to each other, and for some reason, whenever a Sasquatch is a heavy Sasquatch area, there's always paranormal activity, and why that is, and there's always UFO activity too. Now there's hasn't been any UFO activity in this area, but a lot of times those three, for some reason, they tie into each other, and us as cryptozoologists or paranormal experts or whatever, we don't know enough about the field that we're studying to answer those questions. Why do they show up together? Why are they? What attracts them to each other? But yes, they have been known to attract a lot of ghosts and orbs and stuff, because a lot of times people will see orbs around Sasquatch, and they'll try to say, oh, Sasquatch popped out of an orb or whatever. That's not true. What it is, it's probably a ghost following a Sasquatch, attach themselves to a Sasquatch, and that would be a ghost attaching themselves to a Sasquatch. That's why you see orbs around them. Or it could be the methane gas. Because see, the tunnels and the caves that Sasquatch sleep in, and they basically sleep during the day in, if they can find them, are filled with methane. We can't breathe them, but Sasquatch can. So when they come back out into an oxygen atmosphere that we breathe, the methane peels off your skin in like little orbs, and when it hits oxygen, it glows in a ball type gaseous thing, and then it evaporates. So those could be either methane bubbles, hitting that oxygen atmosphere, or they can be ghosts. We've never been that close to them to study them to understand what is really going on there. So, but yeah, they do attract each other. A lot of times around graveyards, smaller graveyards, country graveyards, you'll find a lot of Sasquatch. But people have different reasons why Sasquatch are around the graveyard. The grass is more greener, it's more lush, it's more nutrient. The deer would eat the grass, and of course the Sasquatch would hunt the deer. But sometimes that's not always the case. Sometimes you'll find Sasquatch around a graveyard, and there hadn't been no deer there in a few months, and they'll still hang out in that area. Sasquatch are not really territorial, not that I know of. I mean, they do stay in one spot for 6 months to a year, and maybe even longer, but then eventually they will move on. But yeah, Moncherry, they definitely are attracted to each other. I mean, but not. You don't always run across ghosts when you come across Sasquatch. But that was a good question though, because the answer is yes. They do attract to each other, and we have no idea how. We don't understand it. We don't understand paranormal world that well. We don't understand the Sasquatch world that well, But yes, they do attract to each other, and all we can do is study and just give our opinions, and why they attract to each other. I don't know. That's why sometimes, like I said, when people use a spirit box when they're Sasquatch hunting, they're not talking to the Sasquatch. They're talking to the spirits that attach themselves to the Sasquatch, and that's what you're talking to. You're not talking to the Sasquatch. So it's like, anybody got any questions about Okay, you said you want I'm to do a ghost hunt next. I am definitely got plans to do a ghost hunt. I've been thinking a lot about doing a ghost hunt to try to break up the monotony of Sasquatch. Maybe do a couple more motorized bike videos. Do you know? I want to do a couple of ghost hunts. I was back in the warehouse where I was working, where I work at, where I did a couple of those spirit boxes and stuff. I'm gonna do a couple more. You guys said I can come in here and do a spare box whenever I want. You know, I have a storage unit there, so I'll probably go sit in my storage unit and probably do a video inside there. You know, maybe walk around the hallways a little bit. But yeah, that place is extremely haunted. There's so much haunted history on the place, on that storage warehouse. But yeah, the haunted videos are coming back. I know you guys like them. I know you guys like the haunted stuff I do. And there's a lot of other places, just areas and towns and parks and stuff that I've been reading up on for haunted areas. You know, I've got a vehicle that'll take me to these places. So yes, I will be going to some haunted areas. Maybe not haunted houses, but haunted areas. There's plenty of haunted areas in Illinois where, in the southern part of Illinois, where the Civil War was and kind of where the soldiers and stuff were, and people have seen apparitions of soldiers in certain areas, and I don't know if I get any of them on video, but I will be using my regular video camera to do that, so that probably won't. But then after I upload that video, if I'm still in the area, I might do a live stream shortly that evening or something, and maybe do a walkthrough wherever I'm at live streaming. I'm not sure when it's going to be. I got to plan all that stuff out. You know, it takes money to get me to these places, so I got to work a lot of overtime. You know, uh, if you like this live stream, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification. I will try to live stream a lot more. I will work on getting more ghost videos out there. I will do other areas as far as when it comes to Sasquatch. I will definitely work on my channel a lot more than I have been. I just been working a lot lately, trying to pay the bills, you know, and get out there and get some entertainment for you guys. I do have a spare box still. I still have the SLS app. Um, but yes, I will definitely get out there. Get out there and do some ghost videos. In fact, there's this area I've been wanting to do a ghost video. It's kind of it's a graveyard type area, and it's a big graveyard here in town. And one of my friends is buried there, and I was thinking about maybe taking his dad out there or taking his sister or someone out there with me, and use them kind of as the because they would be a draw for my friend's spirit to come forward. You know, they would be the draw. You know, the family. The dad said he wanted to come out there with me once. He wanted to see what that was all about. Um, that I might do that. I gotta talk to him first. I gotta see if he's really on board with it, or if he was just shooting the shit with me, or what. You know, but. And as far as the Sasquatch, if I go in that marsh area, this marsh area where my boss wants to take me, if I see a lot of evidence of Sasquatch or other cryptids being in there, I'm going to definitely talk to him about sticking a camper or a shed or something back there where I can spend a few days at a time and put some cameras up and be right there. I bought a couple of trail cams today, so I am going to put some trail cams out there. Actually, I got the last 3 that were on the shelf, so I will have some. I'm going to test them out and see how well they work, and I'll probably just test them out in my apartment to see the focus of them, if they actually pick up a clear picture or not. They were pretty cheap, so I don't know if usually cheaper cameras you get cheaper photos, so I don't know, but I'll figure that out too. I will be. Um, what was that question again there, Monterey? Monterey? Your thoughts about uptake on UFO encounters? I know it's a different subject, but it has increased along. Um, I have seen a few strange lights in the sky when I'm out Bigfoot hunting. Even during the day, I've seen them, but a lot better at night because at night, it's more clear. And I don't know. Some people say they're from a different planet, but see, the thing is that Sasquatch has. Hey, Greg, how you doing? Uh, Sasquatch have. There's been sightings of Sasquatch since as far as time began. So, um, as far as the UFOs, and I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they are. A lot of people uh, uh, ask me, if I think Sasquatch is from another planet. I don't think so. I think he's an earthbound entity or earthbound person or creature. Sorry. Uh, I think that I don't think he's an interdimensional because I'm thinking about it. If a Sasquatch can open a dimension, a portal, why wouldn't he be smart enough, or they be smart enough to learn our language and communicate with us? I always ask that question. So I know they're not interdimensional. I think they're Earth. Been here on Earth as long as we have, if not longer. Why they attract UFOs or ghosts or don't know. Don't know. Ghosts seem like they go to anything you know, that will make contact with them. And ghosts have a way of contacting animals and creatures and humans in different ways. So ghosts are the ones that the paranormal is really intriguing to a lot of people because of the fact that they can communicate with all creatures. And we have no idea how. We don't understand the paranormal that well. All we do is when we go out paranormal hunting, what we do, we try to get them to talk to us. And do we understand them? No. Do we understand what their world is like? No, we don't. But we try our best to understand the paranormal world. We try to understand. Lamont Cherry, I believe that UFOs and Bigfoots can be linked in some way. But no one knows how because no one's ever really actually got that close to a Sasquatch. I mean, no one publicly, and the people in private, like in the military, they know more about that than what the public does. I know a lot more. I know mostly what the military does about that. But see, that's stuff I can't talk about on YouTube or on the internet. I can't. I mean, if we were in person, I can tell you a little bit more than what I can on the internet. I'm so careful on what I say when it comes to the Sasquatch UFO connection that it scares me that sometimes I'm going to slip, People know I know a lot more than what I'm saying, and I wish I could talk about it. I wish I could just open it up and say, here's all the information you guys been wanting. But I only can talk about what's already out there, what's already known. Um, and like when I talk about my time in the military, the government telling someone about it makes it sound like a far-fetched story, so the government thinks that's the way people take it. So a lot of people laugh at me and say, "Oh no, that didn't happen," but it did happen. See, and because I have no proof of it, who's going to believe that? The fact that we're on a base, we had all these Sasquatch attack us, and we were guarding aliens at the time. So yeah, as far as the government being in contact with aliens, that's a given. People know they're in contact with aliens. Um, as far as the government knowing about Sasquatch, yes, they know about Sasquatch. Yeah, they got some kind of they can get in contact with the spirit world in other ways that we can't. I have no idea what Sasquatch. That part of the Sasquatch I never really studied, but the connection between UFOs and Sasquatch and humans, or man, it's just one big mystery, one big question. That's why there's people like me out there trying to get information. I mean, most of the time I'll get a print or I get a knock on a tree, yes, but what exactly? What does these knocks on trees or these rocks clashing together? What do they really mean? Do they mean how we interpret them? That they're a call for dinner? That they're a call for food? That they're, hey, where are you type calls? I mean, we really don't know. See, we try to interpret this stuff to be one thing and it could be another. And we have no idea. We try to interpret it in the way we interpret stuff. And because of the actions that they do after they knock on a tree, they come in closer or they clack rocks together. They come in, they'll clack back. If you clack rocks together, they'll actually answer you back a lot more than they will knocking on trees. So, which next time I go out there, if I go out there to the swamp, to the marsh area, I will be taking a couple of rocks with me. Even with my boss standing there, he probably won't know why I'm clacking those rocks together, but I tell him to be quiet for a few minutes. I'll clack those rocks together. If I hear something clack back, it'll probably freak him out. Watching the video, know what it'll be. I'll just do a video out there because, like I said, if I can't get a signal, because he said he can never get a signal when he's out in the swampy marsh area. So, but we can, we will definitely experiment in that. And when I go out to the regular Sasquatch woods, where I usually go, where they usually are, because they were there that day I was filming, and it was pretty interesting. There was one sitting up in a tree, and I was trying to get a close up on, and the camera I was using doesn't go in and out as far as focus. It's got it's a 35 millimeter. It's an old school type camera, but it's a newer camera because it takes a SD card and everything. But it's a helmet cam. It's basically a cheap camera. So but I looked up and tried to. Hopefully, I was getting it. And in the video, you can tell I just look at a bunch of trees. It was so blurred, but. I'm definitely going to take my regular video camera out there next time where I can focus in and where I can, get more evidence than I have been. So, as far as the paranormal, I got a lot of paranormal stuff I'm going to go up. A lot of paranormal stuff I'm going to do. Lamone Sherry, I made you a monitor or whatever on my channel. So, but yeah, as far as the ghosts and stuff, I got a lot of places I want to do. A lot of places I want to go and do paranormal. Now, there's this one spot in Wisconsin. It is. Now, people have said they've seen fairies, regular little tiny fairies flying around. Those I've never seen. I heard that every once in a while you can get a glimpse of them if you go in this one park in Wisconsin. There's Bigfoot there. There's ghosts there. There's fairies there. There's dogmen there in Wisconsin. You know, Wisconsin and Michigan are known for the dogman sighting. So dogman and Bigfoot, I know. And he said at night if you go out, there's UFOs all the time. You know, Wisconsin is known for the UFOs, the Bigfoot, and the dogmen. So, and he told me the name of the park is a state park, and I really want to go up there. I really do. I want to go up there. I want to just spend a couple of nights inside the park, and it's a campground type deal. And I want to go up there and just sit at the campfire. He said you ain't got to go very far from your campsite. Just pick a campsite, stay there for a couple of days, and at night during the day you'll start picking stuff up. Just keep the camera rolling, and you'll pick up all kinds of crazy stuff. You know. And I want to go up there so bad, but apparently this campground isn't really too well known outside the locals, that this area, because there hasn't been really any YouTubers up there. So that's right, Lemon Cherry. I can. Yeah, you're right, Greg. They do. You're welcome, Lemon Cherry. I did find some places I would like to go, but another of them don't want people to know of their places haunted. You know, a lot of people have haunted houses, haunted barns, haunted land, and they would like to get something on video for their own personal use. And a lot of people want to keep that private because ghosts, Bigfoot, scare people. It scares the crap out of people because they don't understand them. What they would, when they allow YouTubers to go in there and film ghosts or Bigfoot or whatever they want them to film, they're trying to get a handle on what's going on by watching the video that the YouTuber picks up, and they want to try to get some answers. And basically, that's why they let YouTubers go in there. But a lot of YouTubers want to post that to their site, but then you got to come to the agreement. Hey, I ain't gonna say who it is or you know who you are or where your place is at. You know, that way you don't got cryptozoologists and paranormal people flooding the area. You know, so it's like it's understandable why he wants to keep that private. You know, I mean, there's a lot of farmers around here that know what's been attacking their creatures. They know I have a YouTube channel. They have contacted me just to get a video of what I can get, even if it's just a little evidence. So they got something they can get a handle on how they can, you know, they've been watching my channel to see how these creatures react and been listening to what I say. And, you know, a couple of farmers have actual physical encounters with these creatures. I go, you guys need to wear a body cam or something. Because if you wear a body cam and you can pick up the actions of these creatures and these creatures on video, I can look at the video and I can tell you exactly pretty much what they're after. You know, pretty much they're after feed or the animals. They're not so much after man. But if man gets in the way, they'll take man for a meal over an animal any day. But they don't just go out of their way to hunt man. Only if they get in the way or if they're, you know, a threat to them in some way, or they feel they're a threat to them in some way. But I think, personally, if we ever got to that point to where Sasquatch makes the first attempt on trying to make contact with human in a friendly type way, and I mean a full witness friendly type way, because they're smart enough. They can pick our language up. They can mimic us. So by them mimicking us, that means they're learning small words of our language. So I don't see why they can't learn our language, or, you know. But you ever listen to these things? Senator chatter. It's a chatter that there's syllables. It's a full language, but I can't pick it up. I can't make heads nor tails of it. It sounds Asian on one side, but then at the end, it sounds kind of Native American, like Cherokee or something, you know. But who knows? Who knows? But yeah, I definitely got a lot of ghost videos coming. I have three places I want to do. There is a couple of graveyards that have been forgotten in Rockford, Illinois. There's been a couple of graveyards that have been forgotten. They ain't taken care of. In fact, they built parks, and the headstones are still there. These are parks with swing sets and stuff where kids go and play, and the headstones are still there. They're flat headstones on the ground. They're kind of buried over with a little grass, but I want to go and do a video there. And I mean, these gravestones go back into the woods and stuff where trees and stuff have grown up over it, and it's like forgotten graveyards. There are a lot of forgotten graveyards in this area, and I mean this area. Rockford, it said it was founded in 1850, which is BS because I found evidence that this place was founded back in the 1600s. And those graveyards that were from back then are the ones that mostly are buried over. So when you look at the tombstones, the headstones, it says 1600. Well, the area wasn't founded to 1850. Why does it say 1600 on it? It just, and some of the houses here, I noticed that they say that it's the deeds on them will say like 1900s and stuff, 1902 and stuff like that. But if you go in the archives in the library, that same address is from the early 1800s. It's like they're trying to cover something up. Well, see, Rockford used to be called Midway because it was midway between Chicago and Galena. Galena was a big silver mining area. You got a lot of lead and silver there. And that is a big ghost area. Big ghost area. There's a lot of hotels there that are haunted. There's a lot of people there that give, a lot of hotels that give ghost tours. And that's not too far from me. That's only about 35 or 40 minutes from me. I want to check more into that information. I want to never really go on a ghost tour, but ask if I can walk through a hotel by myself, and or maybe with a friend, and see if I can experience some of the stuff. Like they said when they go in to check in at this one hotel, that there's no smoking inside the hotel. Now they'll get the cigar smoke, they'll smell the cigar smoke, and they'll turn around and there'll be a guy standing there with a cigar, but it won't be lit. And you reach in, he'll ask you for a light. When you reach in your pocket to get him light, he's gone. He just disappears. And but then later on, you'll smell the cigar smoke, and that I might check that out. There's so many reports of that. I want to check that out. Now the smells I won't be able to get on camera, but maybe if I can get an apparition like that on camera, that would be awesome. There's like 3 hotels in Galena that are like that. Like I said, that's only like 40 minutes from my house. There is a place in Freeport, Illinois, a flower shop that in the basement they're afraid to go in there. They're afraid to go down there because back in the 30s and 40s during the Capone days, apparently that was one of the strongholds where Capone would hide his stash or get rid of bodies and stuff and just throw them down in this like long pit with tons of tunnels and stuff in it. I mean, of course, all the bodies since then have been taken out, but their spirits are still there. That's where they were killed at, So that's what the history, the dark history on some of those places are. And I want to check more into these things and do those type of ghost hunts. Except those kind of ghost hunts can be dangerous because having a violent death somewhere, you're going to have not just mean, evil spirits. You're going to have demons. So I'm going to have to go talk to a pastor or a priest and get some holy water to take with me. I'm going to have to take, all kinds of stuff. So I'm going to have to really check into this stuff and see what I'm going to need as far as protections, as far as what kind of blessings, what kind of, defenses I can get from these spirits or demons. But, and then there's, of course, the Sasquatch. There's all kinds of areas. There's that place in Wisconsin I want to go. I mean, these are stuff that eventually be coming up sometime this year. I can't tell you when, but I'm going to be planning all this stuff out and checking into a lot of this stuff and doing a lot of videos in these places. I don't know if I'm gonna get them all, hit all the places, but I'm gonna hit a majority of the ghost places. They're pretty much local, and those I can hit almost right away. The Sasquatch places and the UFO places are kind of, a distance from me, so I gotta, if I do something like that, I gotta really plan that out, and see what the Sasquatch, new Sasquatch places. I definitely gotta take people with me because I'm not familiar with the area, and if it's just dogmen, it was a video full tour, the whole town, the whole ghost hunt, no one else allowed in the hotel. Yeah, there's places like that. There is places like that where no one else is allowed in the hotel due to the condition of the hotel. There's a lot of places, and they're extremely haunted. And but yeah, I'm gonna be doing all kinds of stuff. I'm gonna be doing, you know. There's two people I would love to have a ghost hunt with. It'll never happen, but the first one is Chris Starr. I would love to do a ghost hunt with her. And the second one would be Jenny Love. Two of the YouTube favorites, But that's on down the road. That's probably some. That's just a pipe. Those are two pipe dreams I wish would happen. But uh, oh yeah, there's actually three people. Greg's Inferno exploring. Greg's Inferno. Now he's a good ghost hunter. He's kind of a what do you call the hey Tracker A. Greg's Inferno, I would definitely do a ghost hunt with if I could. That's down the road though. We all live in different states, so how you doing, Tracker A? I'm just talking about upcoming videos I'm gonna be doing this year. I'm gonna be doing a lot of ghost hunting, a lot of Sasquatching. I'm gonna be doing a lot of stuff this year. I've got plans. Now, exactly when I'm gonna do these areas of ghosts and Sasquatch and whatever. Uh, I'm definitely gonna be uh, uh, have this all planned out. They're going to be done though, not all of them, but I'm going to try to shoot. I'm going to shoot for all of them. That's the goal. But you know how that goes. You make goals, and sometimes you don't make those goals. But I am going to tell you this: I'm going to have some new areas coming up pretty soon. Just even the new areas on my boss's, even the new area of the marsh area, the marsh swamp area on my boss's land I haven't been to yet. I would love to study over there because the marshy, swampy area, a lot of deer and stuff go down there, and which means that would attract the Sasquatch and whatever else is out there. So, and if I can talk him into it, I will try to set some kind of shack or build some kind of shack or something out there where I can spend a few days out there in the swamp area and just taking video. I'm not saying I'll catch something in the swamp, but more than likely, the swamp area is a good place to catch something. I mean, I will be, like I said, I just bought some new trail cams. I'm going to put a bunch of new trail cams out in the original area where I do hunt, where I do research at. I'm gonna put some the new trail cams out there. I'm gonna go for a couple of days and go back and check them. I'm not gonna tell my boss or anybody where they're at because I don't want his kid going out there taking them down or messing with them. So I'm not gonna tell anybody where they're at. So, but if they were missing when I go out there, it won't be my boss and his kid. It would be the Sasquatch because they know them for going in and they know how to take them apart. Not rip them apart. They'll actually just take them and unclip them and let them drop right there. It's almost like they're intelligent. See, they're intelligent enough to do this. Tracker A and Tracker E, I would love to go Bigfoot hunting with you guys someday. Okay? You guys are way out on a different state, You guys are way out more west, and the people I want to ghost hunt with are on the east side of me, so it's like, oh boy. So it's like, one of these times I'm just gonna have to take and do a trip and just go everywhere, you know. But like I said, that takes money. And you're in the South. Where in the South are you? I thought you were out in Oklahoma. Or is that Trackery? That's Trackery that's out there. Okay. Alabama. Okay, hey, that's a good area. Good state for Sasquatch. There are so many sightings down there. There's been over 500 sightings in Alabama this year alone. And this year is just barely half over with. 500 sightings. I keep track of the sightings and how many and the amount in the areas of the U.S. where they're sighted at. You know, there's been 4 attacks by Sasquatch in Alabama already this year. Not really attacks. Apparently, they went and destroyed someone's camp that hurt anybody. Just destroyed their camp or uh, dogmen. I definitely want to study those. I do all the types of content. That would be excellent. That would be good. But like I said, even having plans like that takes money. And in today's economy, it's so expensive. I mean, I went down, I filled up my van, and when I first got it, I filled up my van. It's got a 20-gallon tank in it. It was like $80 to fill it up, and I'm like, okay, I figured, okay, $4 a gallon. That's what it is here. I don't know what it is anyplace else, but it's like, and it's got the economy thing on it. And I can also burn 2 kinds of fuel: the E85, the corn fuel. I can burn that too, and that's actually good for long distance. It's not so good for in town because it burns quite fast in town. But distance wise, that'd be good as far as distance, but it's a little bit cheaper. But um, that's just the gas. Okay, you got the gas covered. You got your lodging. Now, unless you want to do a camp out at the park or something, that's fine. Uh, which normally I would. If I'm going Sasquatching, I would rather do it at a park, and at a park where Sasquatch has been seen or has been heard, or in some place where it has been seen or heard in recent time, whether it lasts like 6 months or 8 months. Longer than that, it's not so likely you would even get any evidence that they're still in the area. But the area I go, they're definitely there. But as far as ghost hunting, there are so many places. In Ohio, there is they call it the grassman out there. There are so many. It seems like the East Coast, anywhere the eastern states, have so many Bigfoot sightings. North Carolina, it's just a hot spot. The whole state's a hot spot. Alabama is another hot spot. It's like the southeastern states. Up in Maine's a hot spot. Well, Maine is actually, if you think about it, Maine is actually Canada. If you look at it, 'cause if you look at Canada, you look at U.S., you draw a line like this, and Maine's up here. Maine was Canadian territory that we claimed, so basically it's technically Canada. So. But the animals don't know state lines or borders or nothing like that. They're just going where they. So that's why there's a lot of Sasquatch in that area. A lot of big Sasquatch, a lot of taller ones. I want to make this trip, maybe get an RV and just travel the U.S. and that's someday. That's a pipe dream, but it will happen. I'll be able to make a few trips, but maybe more as the years go on. I can make more. I mean, I want to study it all. I want to study ghosts. I want to study Sasquatch. I want to study UFOs. I want to study everything. I want to research everything. I mean, I have so many throughout my life. I've seen and experienced so much that I want to research it all. Why research just one specific thing when you can research it all? Get the answers to everything, or get close enough to the answers to everything. Mine too. Well, I did live in an RV for a long time. This is actually the second place. I mean, besides having that house was actually the first legitimate place I had. And this is my second place when I rented this room. You've seen 35 footers and 21 footers down that part down south. See, now those 21 footers and those 35 footers are known to be strictly up in the north, like Alaska, Canada, Maine. Wow, that means that they're on the move. That means they're not restricting themselves. See, those are the very dangerous ones. Those are the dangerous ones that you got to look out for. When they get that tall, yeah, when they get that tall, when they get that tall and that big and that much bulk, they know they're king shit. They know they're the apex predator. They know you come across something like that and it's aggressive. I tell you not to run. Bend over. If you don't run from these things, because they're the most aggressive ones. The bigger ones are the most aggressive ones because they're, the fastest, the meanest. Running like a bat out of hell. You get big ones like that down there. And if they pick something up and throw it at you, man, just pray to God they don't hit you. Just move. Just move like the wind, because those big ones will definitely rip you apart. Those big ones are the big ones that we fought up in Alaska, and they're just, there's no docileness about those big ones. They're just, when they got their sights set on something, they go after it. There was a town in North Carolina just recently, about 6 months ago, 18 Marines went in to this town because of the Sasquatch population down there in North Carolina, South Carolina, one of the Carolinas down there. And when they went into this town, they tore this little village town apart. Scared, killed a lot of the people down there. It wasn't ever in the news because of the fact that the government don't want to admit Sasquatch is real, but not publicly anyway. I mean, they have to a point, but still. Anyway, 18 Marines went in, 5 came out alive. That's how bad these creatures are. And Marines are the most best trained in military weaponry, military fighting and hand-to-hand combat and cloakness there is. I mean, you've got the Green Berets. They do all right once in a while, but the reason they didn't send the Green Berets is because they don't have the experience that Marines have. They didn't send the Navy SEALs, which is a elite force in to fight these creatures, because they didn't have the experience Marines have. Didn't have the fighting combat. But when you send 18 highly decorated Marines in to fight a group of Sasquatch, 18 and 5 come out alive, those creatures are dangerous. They then sent, when these 5 came back out alive, and the ones that came back out alive, some of the legs were broken. Some of their claw marks across the chest. I mean, these guys were they were beat up pretty bad. And how I find out about it, well, I've got military connections who keep me informed of any type of military action toward these creatures. People don't realize that these creatures are not your friend, okay? That's why you don't gift Sasquatch. You don't knock on trees. Like, well, I knocked on a tree during that live stream, and my boss said he had a couple encounters by different cryptids, not just Sasquatch. So yeah, you don't knock on trees. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you don't do that people do anyway because they think they know better. These creatures are out to do one thing: they eat, sleep, and shit. And they don't care what they eat, especially when they get to be 20 to 35 feet tall. They don't give a shit what they eat. Human or deer, they don't care. They don't care. I mean, when you watch your whole platoon get ripped apart, but not the whole platoon, but the majority of your platoon get ripped apart by these creatures, man, you know that even the small ones, even the 9-footers, you got to be leery of, because they're extremely strong too. So you got to remember, they're in the woods. They live in the woods. They live on the land. They know how to hide. They know how to maneuver. They know how to fight. Actually, I believe that the knock on the trees are a sign for, hey, I got some food, come over here. Because when they clack on rocks, that's the only time they really answer back is when they clack on rocks. That's yeah, they do let people know their location like that, but they also whoop for other reasons too. But I can't. There's so many reasons that they whoop. Each whoop, if you notice, is a different tone. A different tone. If you ever listen to whoops, more than one whoop, it's always a different tone, which means each tone means a different thing. And maybe you can tell it's a different Sasquatch, but the tones are different. You gotta listen to the tones. Any of your tone deaf, I don't know what to tell you, but you gotta listen to the tones when it comes to those things. They know how to communicate and hide and fight. They live that. They do it every second, every minute of their lives. You know, being the apex predator that they are. That's all they know. So if you come across a Sasquatch, if there's just one you see, there's about 20 you don't see. The one you see is the scout. And if you see that scout, that's exactly what he is a scout. He may not attack you, but trust me, there are about 20 around you don't see. And if you try to attack him, you're gonna find, see these creatures literally look like they come out of the woodwork. That's because they know how to camouflage themselves pretty good. Can they go invisible? No. Can they blend into their surroundings? Yeah. See, their fur is like hollow fur, kind of like a polar bear's. They can blend in and make their hair turn the color of their surroundings, kind of like a chameleon. That's been seen and proven several times. But they'll still be standing right there, and it look like they disappeared or walked out of existence, and they're standing right there. All they did was have their hair turn the color of the background to make them blend in. They could do it really, really good. You swear to God they disappeared or turned invisible, and they didn't. Trust me. They're standing right there looking at you. You know. And some of them are intelligent enough. They will actually use spears. There has been eyewitnesses where they actually use spears and throw spears. Those are the bigger, taller, older ones that learn that trait of using spears. You know, making spears, using tree bark as kind of chest protectors and stuff, almost like their intelligence. Yes, they use weapons, and not all Sasquatch are like that, because not all Sasquatch are evolved that intelligence, but your taller ones and your big ones, your older ones, have that knowledge. They know how to like take this tree bark and turn it into like a chest, a vest, sort of, you know, to protect them. They don't need protecting. Are you serious? Wow. Tracker A just said she had one come right at her, with a club in his hand. He was a 17-foot tall. Yeah, he was a tall one. The 9-footers are what we see mostly. But they got a lot of tall ones in Alabama. They got a lot of tall ones down there. And the taller ones are the older ones. That means they're let's see, tall ones, they live to be, well, the oldest recorded Sasquatch. There's 3 generations of family in this place in Maine that recorded a family of Sasquatch, that all 3 generations only seen this one family, and it was only 3 in the family, and that was like 150 years, 3 generations, you know. So, and it was one family of Sasquatch for all 3 generations. So it's like they lived to be 150 years old, you know. I mean, their life expectancy from what the average recorded is probably 150 to almost maybe 175, maybe even 200 years. They can live a pretty damn long time. They're big, and they're not docile. They are mean. You even see a 9-footer. A 9-footers, you pretty much can manipulate your way out. You don't turn around and run with them because they're dumb enough. They'll chase you and rip you apart. The bigger ones, you kind of like turn around and run and get yourself out of there and pray to God that you outmaneuver these creatures, because they ain't even going to give you a chance. They're going to take you out. The smaller ones you can kind of, slowly back away from, and they'll leave you alone because they're not quite as advanced. But those big ones, forget it. Forget it. You better have a 50 caliber, because you're not piercing their skin with a 50 cal. Um, I mean, you might pierce their skin, but all you do is piss them off. I mean, those creatures are just huge. They're nasty and they're huge. Uh, but I definitely want to make a couple of trips, do a couple of different areas as far as Sasquatch. I want to do a couple of different areas as far as paranormal. I got to put a couple more. I've had a lot of requests now to do some paranormal, so I got to do a couple of those videos at least. Now you go out into a couple of areas. I'm going to go back out to the Sasquatch Woods where I was, because there are grave sites out there. And my boss said he had seen this, like, person out there walking around in older clothing that he could kind of see through, sort of. So that means there are apparitions right in that area. So I will be doing a ghost hunt out there. I'm not sure when, because like I said, if I do a ghost hunt out there, I got to be very careful, because there are Sasquatch in those woods. There are other cryptids in those woods. So doing that, even when I walk through and do a Bigfoot hunt, I gotta be careful of the bobcat that is now in that area that never was before. Apparently, the Pecatonica River is what they use as. I'll get that in a minute, Tracker A. Um, uh, I understand that the Pecatonica River is their highway. They follow the rivers down. The animals, the Sasquatch, all the animals follow the river. That's why you hardly ever see them cross the road. Once in a while you see a Bigfoot cross the road, and once in a while you see a bobcat cross the road. But majority of the time when they travel by the rivers, near their rivers. And usually when you see them cross the road, it's near a bridge or near a water source. Um, Actually, that was they're not sure what that was. That could have been a Bigfoot, Greg. Yes, I seen that video also. I seen that where the guy took a photo of a giant something on top of a hill and the guy disappeared. I seen that video. The government covered that up. He put that on social media, and it was some kind of government conspiracy, because the guy hasn't been seen or heard from since. So not on social media. He might still be alive, but just not going on social media anymore. So, but yes, these creatures, they're intelligent enough. If you got clothes on a clothesline, they will steal your clothes. They know they watch us, how we wear them, and they will try to, if they can fit into them, they will put them on and try to look like human. Now, dogmen are very good for that, from what I understand. Dogmen like to eat whatever they can catch. If there's a human standing there and a deer standing there, that dogman is going after the human, from what I understand. Dogmen are very dangerous. They will eat what they can catch, and humans are the easiest prey ever, because we're dumb. They get down on all fours and act like they're a wounded dog. We're going to go up and see if we can take care of it. And right then we get eaten. We're dumb when it comes to that stuff. Um, they know how to lure us in. Like I said, even with Sasquatch, they know how to lure us in. They'll make a little trinket or something out of wood, a little doll or a little, something, and they'll place it on his hair. You're my friend, and then you'll go back and you'll gift them, and they'll gift you, and they'll lead you into a false sense of security. And when you go back out there, you'll be attacked by 2 or 3 of them, and you'll be their dinner. That's why gifting is, you don't gift. All it is a false sense of security. I mean, I know so much about these creatures, but when I tell people, they're like, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about." Really? Okay, you want to for you want to totally ignore what I'm saying and take that risk, that's up to you. All I can tell you is my experiences and what I've seen and what I know for a fact. But what I know for a fact is not what everyone knows for a fact because they didn't have the same experiences, and I understand that. I can just tell you what I've seen and what I've been through. Um, they do have knowledge of, they will watch us. They'll sit in the woods and watch us for months, sometimes years, just study us like we study them. They will steal our clothes off the clothesline and wear them. Well, they'll watch us how we put on a jacket and stuff. They'll mimic us and put that jacket on too, and if they can fit into it, and they will make themselves seem like they're human just to lure another human in. Yes, that is. I've heard that several times there, Tracker A. Tracker A just said that a woman used to gift Sasquatch and I guess on her property or something for a long time. But when she stopped gifting them, they killed her. Apparently, they ripped her apart and neighbors found her body. And so there's what I've been talking about. Do not gift Sasquatch. It's a false sense of security. They don't know the term of friendship. All they know is their whole thing is to hunt, to lure, okay, to conquer. And when they're young, when they're 9-footers, they're usually pretty young, so they're into the whole hunting thing. They will do anything. They will learn how to lure whatever they're after in to get a meal. It's the Bigfoot expert, Jerry Williams. He knows a lot about this. He doesn't talk much about it, but but me, I'm more open about it. I mean, but he will agree with me, and which I like because me and him are pretty much on the same wavelength. He comes at it from one way. I come at it straight on. Which he goes by Tracker E. He's probably one of the best Bigfoot hunters out there is. So he's we have difference of opinion. We don't agree on everything, but we agree on a few things. I mean, he's a good guy too. You ever get a chance to check out his channel? It's the Bigfoot expert, Jerry Williams. That's what he goes by. So, and I mean, not every cryptozoologist or Bigfoot hunter or paranormal ghost guy. No one ever agrees 100%. Okay, everyone always has their difference of opinion. That's where the diversity comes in, and that's where you get a chance to learn from each other. If we all have the same opinion, you ain't really learning anything. You're just agreeing with what the majority goes by. But every time you have a Sasquatch encounter, it's always different. It's always different. It could be you walk up, Sasquatch walks up, you walk up, you look at each other, you both turn around and walk away. That could be one encounter. What a Sasquatch does then is he's eyeing you up. He's letting you know he's there. He's eyeing you up, and eventually you're gonna become his. As long as you ain't Larry, you gotta be very Larry to these creatures. You find out they're in your area, on your property, they're watching you, or your kids see them because they like to go after kids a lot. And the reason they go after kids is because kids are slow and dumb. Okay. Now, okay, a lot of kids are smart. Don't get me wrong, but kids are easy to lure in with Sasquatch. Okay, and there's been many reports of kids disappearing and them finding the kids' bodies in rocks on cliffs and logs because Sasquatch don't really like their fresh meat. They like their meat tainted a little bit and old and smelly. That's the way they like their meat. All we are is meat to them. And I may be getting graphic, but I'm just keeping it real with you. I ain't going to hide nothing from you. I never have hid anything from you guys. And when it comes to Sasquatch, or when it comes to anything else that I may or may not know. If I don't know about a subject, I really won't elaborate on it too much. But when it comes to Bigfoot hunting people, it is such a fact out there. And are you trying to steal the show again? It's my cat. She's going off. She wants attention. That's okay. Uh, but yeah, when it comes to Sasquatch, people ask me to take my cats with me. I don't take my cats with me. Because even if I had my cats with me and they're inside the van, those Sasquatch will break my van up just to get those damn cats. A Sasquatch will go after an animal faster than they will a human, but if the human gets in the way, they're dinner. Or they're easier to get to their dinner than the animal is. So, yeah, that's kind of I mean, I'm out there in the Sasquatch wood by myself, no weapons, knowing that there's bobcats and stuff around, me thinking that maybe those growls and stuff I heard were bobcats. But they didn't seem like they were a guttural, deep growl like a Sasquatch would do, or a dog man. I don't know. I still have to figure that out. But next time I do a live stream, I think I really want to take someone out there. I can't find no one brave enough to go out with me. I mean, I go out by myself for Christ's sake. And but I can't get no one to go out with me. And it's like, I mean, yeah, if I had some of you guys living near me, I have to go with me because I know you guys jump at the chance to go with me. But I would jump at the chance to go with Tracker A or go ghost hunting with Greg's Inferno or some of the other people I mentioned. I know you would, Greg. I was just saying that if I had we live near each other, it would be a lot easier. But it seems like the stuff I'm into, people people live across states. I just made you a moderator there, Greg. So you should be okay. I see all the chats that come up, so I just set it to where I see all the chats now. So, but yeah, it's I definitely got a whole list of places that I want to explore. Ghosts, Bigfoot, UFOs. UFOs I've only seen once or twice. There are a lot of UFO hotspots. Now, the one in Wisconsin, the UFO hotspot, or the Bigfoot hotspot, is a UFO hotspot. And oh, you're welcome, Greg. And it's like they say when you see Bigfoot in that area, or Dogman, or even these little fairies, you always see UFOs within hours of the sighting of whatever cryptid you might see. If you come across ghosts in that area, a couple hours later, you come across Sasquatch or some kind of cryptid, Dogman, something. And then a couple hours later, it's almost like it's a domino effect. I want to go to this area. Problem is that when I go to a very strange area like that, I want to take a group of people with me. But to find a group of people in my area that's even into stuff like that won't freak out and start pulling their guns and shooting at everything, because there's a lot of idiots out there. They see a Sasquatch or they see a dog man, they'll just start blasting. I've been in groups like that. They never really they know that those creatures exist, but they don't understand that. Don't show any violence toward these creatures, and 9 times out of 10, they really won't show violence against you, but you still gotta stay leery of them, because there are those few that will turn on you and hunt you down and attack you just to have a meal or try to lure you in. So so you gotta be leery. Don't just be leery of those, be leery of them all. So it's like, but even though it sounds like I'm talking in circles, I'm not. What I'm saying is that they will hunt you down, kill you, and eat you, but they don't go after humans per se all the time, but they do hunt humans. And if you're out there by yourself, you're an easy target for any of the cryptids, any of the cryptids. That's why I don't want to go out by myself. Um, I'm not licensed to carry a gun in Wisconsin, so I'm gonna have to take a group out there with me. I take my broadsword. I don't know how good that's gonna do. I mean, it's sharp, but yeah, I can probably get a couple cuts off before I get ripped apart. You know, take my little shocker here. I don't know what this thing can do to him. This here thing, ha! I don't know what that's gonna do to him, but I usually take that with me when I go out to Sasquatch. That's one thing I do have on me, but of course I would have to come physically in contact with a creature in order to use that thing. So uh, it would be a straight up survival camping trip if I went out to these parks. Now, if I go to a park that's crowded and is known for all these sightings, that I can do. I can go by myself because there's other people around me. But to actually go to these places like in the fall or in the spring when there ain't no crowds around, like 4th of July weekend will be a good weekend to go. Now, that would be a good time to go and a bad time to go because the 4th of July weekend inside a park, inside a small campsite type park where the park's crowded, to most cryptids, that would be a good feast, you know? They'd be looking at people's feast. It'd be real easy to peg off a few people and no one, miss them. But at the same time, it'd be good for me as far as protection, because people be watching other people, and people would see something normally. But to go into one of these parks where there's not very many people around by myself, I want to be with a group of people, and I'm trying to find that group of people to go with. I talked to a couple of friends of mine. They know what I do. They know what I do for a hobby. They know I Bigfoot. I ghost hunt. They said to go on ghost hunt all day long, but they won't do the Bigfoot thing because those things scare them. I said, "Have you ever seen one?" They said, "No, but we know they exist." Because they told me they've heard whoops in the area where I Sasquatch because they live out in that area, so they know they exist, and they don't like. They think I'm nuts going to the woods alone. I go in the woods alone all the time. I pretty much know how these creatures act. I'm not saying I can outdo one or outthink one, but if I got one coming at me, I know I'm gonna have two more behind me waiting for me to take off somewhere. So, I'm gonna have. Now, sometimes they would do a bluff charge. If they come to you face to face, they'll be about 10 or 20 yards away, and they'll do a bluff charge. They'll step toward you. Growl at you, and yell at the top of their lungs and try to scare the crap out of you, hoping that you'd come at them. The minute you come at them, they're going to cancel the bluff charge and make it a real charge. What you do is you just stand there. You just stand there and you look at them. You could be scared shitless, but you just look at them dead in the eye. And that would actually back off because they know even though you're smaller than them, they're gonna say, "Man, their whole thought." And it's been proven by several Marines have done this, and they backed off. And the only thing we can think is that, "Hey, man, this guy may be smaller than us, but he got something for us, so we're not gonna take it." So they just do a bluff charge. As long as you stand your ground, you're okay. But the minute you run, move, or try to run toward them, that's when they think that you're challenging them. But when you stand your ground, then they know that you're standing up to them. So, and a lot of times they'll back up. But not saying they ain't gonna try to sneak up on you later and kill you. That they would try to do. I mean, it's just at the time when you're being confronted, you gotta stand your ground. And you always be weapon ready. Whatever weapon you have, and I don't care if it's a pocket knife, something you can cut them with, something you can, even a small cut on their skin or their hands could distract them long enough that few seconds to get away. I mean, I've got plenty of scars on my body. I tell people it's from landscaping. It's really not from landscape. It's from where I've been grabbed, and I've got scars on my arms and stuff where I've been grabbed and stuff. You can't see too well in the footage, but in the video and stuff, I've got plenty of from where I've been grabbed by my arms. I've been flinged, across the, and that's before I started doing the actual filming and YouTubing. And I've got, I've been in physical situations for these creatures when I was in the military. I had one of the 25 footers grab me and just throw me across the compound like I was like a rag doll, like I was a piece of paper, man. It was like I hit the roof. I hit the roof of one of the barracks, and I just kind of rolled off, and wind knocked out of me, and it was just like unbelievable what these creatures are capable. The thing could rip me apart. It didn't come back after me. It threw me just to get me out of the way because I had a uh, I had a rifle, 50 caliber rifle, pointing, shooting at him. He was just basically trying to push me out of the way. Uh, they target one specific person in your group. And if it's not you they target, they will push you out of the way to get to the target first and take you out later, see? It's just really weird how they just don't, attack the first person. If they got, it's like there's three of them, there's six of you. They each have someone that they think is the weak. They're gonna always take out the weakest link. They're gonna watch you take out the weakest link. That's why they'll push away the weak people, or the people they think is weak. And toss you aside like the one in Alaska tossed me. But um, it just Sasquatch is a very interesting creature that we have to get a cap on, because I believe in my whole heart the reason there are more Sasquatch sightings and the bigger ones are coming down from the north is because, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, in the 1990s, what happened? The internet came out. All our younger generations aren't into the hunting, aren't into the deer hunting, the turkey hunting. There's plenty of turkey and deer and everything else out there. In fact, in my live stream, there was a turkey that went flying across. Well, I didn't catch on screen, but you can hear it gobble gobble all the way, across the live stream. Normally that wouldn't happen. However, there's so much abundant of food because the hunters have not been out there like before computers came out. So abundance of food means abundant and a lot of predators. And then the apex predators come in. Apparently in my area there's now, he just told me this morning, there's always been coyotes. They haven't really hurt, but there's now wolves in the area. So when the predators start moving in, the food is real good in the area. I drove past a field, one of his fields, looked over, and there was more deer in that field than I've ever seen in my life. So the abundance of deer and animals that feed animals for an apex predator is abundant in that area. So I think I'm gonna have to rethink my hunting and stuff out there, my research, and I'm still going to research out there. I just got to be very careful on what I do. Maybe I'm going to have to start packing a pistol or something with me. I really don't like going because they can smell like gunpowder. And gunpowder, for some reason, the smell of it gets animals riled. When they used to train pit bulls back in the 70s when they did the dog fightings, they used to take gunpowder and put in the dog's food because it made them extremely aggressive, and have them sniff it, made the dog sniff it and stuff, just made them extremely aggressive. It's basically what it does to a Sasquatch, to smell that stuff, so it's like, that's why I don't like taking a gun, even though we can't smell the gunpowder, and the gunpowder is inside the bullet, they can smell that stuff. And because I know a lot of times, yeah, it seems like wherever the Sasquatch at, coyotes, and wolves, and a lot of the smaller predators will follow the Sasquatch. And the Sasquatch, we believe, control these coyotes and these dog wolves and whatever else. And it's like the bobcats will come in. And bobcats are basically their cleaners. They will clean up, and scavengers will clean up whatever's left, and they'll try to attack the prey themselves. Sometimes they'll get the prey, sometimes they won't. But most of the time, they're cleaners. They'll come in and clean up what's ever left, whatever Sasquatch don't eat, whatever the dogmen don't eat. But it's just extreme. But yeah, I know what I'm in for now. I'm studying the area, and I've actually heard for the first time in this area, I was out just on the edge of town, and I heard it sound like an old lady scream. I knew that was a bobcat right away. My mind went to bobcat. I'm sitting there listening. It sounded like a woman is distressed, and that's exactly what it sounds like. It sounds like a woman screaming, but it's a bobcat. If you listen to it, it'll scream real loud, and it'll just wind down like a cat does. And if you listen to it close, you can tell it's a bobcat. It's not a woman screaming. But see, that's another thing that some humans don't know that. They don't think it's a woman. What a Sasquatch or a dogman would do was be sitting near that bobcat. The human would come in there, and the Sasquatch won't let the bobcat, attack the human because they're going to do it. That's another lure that they use. They use other animals to lure you in. And that's also been recorded recorded as far as written down and stuff, the situations that happen. I mean, there are so many Sasquatch and dogmen would do anything they can to lure humans because we're the easiest and we're the dumbest prey out there. We don't know our animal instincts because we lived in a modern day society. We haven't used our instincts since basically caveman days. Yeah, the black bears are disappearing too because black bears are the biggest rival to a Sasquatch and dogman. They too will attack humans and eat humans. Grizzly bears will. I mean, like I said, wherever the food is the most, your apex predators are going to be. And they're going to start moving into that area. And how do they know that the feeding is good? Well, they've got their ways of following the food chain. I mean, they will start up here up north. The food chain's good. The food chain starts dying down. And far down south they go. The food's good, and they just keep going like that, and basically eating their way to the south, and then they find their areas that they like, and they'll stay in those areas. I mean, knowing that the food is abundant in the U.S. now because of lack of hunters. Even the, what do you want to call them, hillbillies or rednecks, wherever, go out hunting possum, going out hunting raccoon. The younger generation don't do that anymore. Maybe one out of every 5 families in Virginia, in the hills out there, hunt possum or raccoon. So they're abundant. So that's why there's a lot of dogmen and sightings and Bigfoot sightings in those areas. And I've talked to quite a few people that live in those areas saying they're quite, and there's a bigger population of Sasquatch in the area than what there was, from what my friends have told me, and from what my acquaintances have told me. I met him on YouTube. I met him off YouTube. I met him on other sites, on Facebook. There's all kinds of Sasquatch in this area, and what we have to do is we have to take our land back. The way we do this now, it's going to be harder because now Sasquatch and Bigfoot are in the area of the U.S. We're going to have to start teaching our sons and our grandsons how to hunt. And every deer season, go out there and shoot a couple of deer, lower the population. Yeah, that's what, right, Greg? A lot of people don't start hunting until after they get out of high school, but me, I started hunting when I was 9 years old. Of course, back then it was legal. That's when you got your hunter safety license, hunter safety course, and your deer license. You go out and shoot a deer. But we got to start teaching our grandkids and our sons and our grandkids how to hunt and go out and start taking back, dwindling the population of deer and turkeys and coons and everything else down there, raccoons. Everything else. The minute we start dropping the population in the food, I feel that the Sasquatch will move on, maybe go back up north where they're from. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, but who knows? It probably won't because our society is hooked on one way of life and they won't go backwards. They won't go backwards. They'll go forward. The more they go forwards. Hey, Lead Tracker E, how you doing? I was just talking about you. Talking about like you're the best, and we usually have disagreements about certain situations on Bigfoot, but everyone has their opinions that they don't agree on. But that's what diversity and able to learn from each other is. Let's see here. Come on now. I just made you a moderator, Lead Tracker E, so. That's right. You quit elk hunting. You quit all that hunting and stuff. And when you stop hunting, you let the population of deer and turkeys and other game grow. Elk, longhorn, sheep, everything. And when you got a big population of feeder animals, you're going to have apex predators. And that's why you see a lot more Sasquatch, a lot more dogmen, a lot more apex predators in the area. When Tracker A told me that there were 21 and 35 footers in Alabama, that now freaked me out. Because were only known, as far as I know, in the north. They weren't ever seen that far south. But now apparently they have them that far south. That is definitely strange. What it is that the population of food has grown, and we allowed the animal population to overgrow itself. And what's going to happen when the Sasquatch run out of deer and turkeys to eat? They're going to come after humans. Everyone thinks our next fight is going to be political. It's be Republicans against Democrats. And this is where you're probably going to laugh at me, because I think our next fight is going to be humans against Sasquatch and dogmen. I really do. Maybe not anytime soon, because the food is still out there. But when that food runs dry or scarce, like the Marines in North Carolina, that is because the lack of hunting, Tracker E. In the 1990s, when the internet came out, no one hunted anymore. Everyone went to the internet, went to the computers, and stayed out on computers, and did away with the hunting. And there are a few hunters that go out and still kill deer and fish and stuff, but, and, I made you a moderator. Exactly. No hikers. Yeah, there was no other, food source. The hikers weren't out there, so they had to eat something. So, yeah. That's right. Everyone stayed inside for almost 2 years. So I allowed the animal population to grow. Now you got things like deer and turkey. Like I've been saying, deer, turkey, raccoons, and whatever else we eat. Grew up for 2 years, because we stayed inside for 2 years during the pandemic. This allowed the animal population to grow. You got a lot of easy prey. You got, I believe so. I believe it was by design too, but you're going to have your apex predators move into those areas because the feeding is good. They just keep following the food. And when the food runs out, the animals run out, I believe in my whole heart that we are going to have more interactions with Sasquatch in a life and death situation. Because these Sasquatch have been, the better the food is, the more they breed. The more they breed, the more Sasquatch they become. And they're born strong. They're born fierce. They're born, ready to kill, ready to hunt. They're born like this. So, I mean, and I believe that's why we've seen more. Uh, a few months back, when those people in what was it, somewhere in Carolina, so those 18 Marines and only 5 walked out. You know, we can send in our best troops, our best Marines. That has happened like 6 to 8 months ago. It was 8 months ago, a year ago, something like that. Anyway, I heard about it. I'm not sure exactly. I know it was just really recent that they sent Marines in there because the Sasquatch attacked a village, a small town. It ripped it apart, killed a bunch of people, and the Marines went in there to try to, put these, dispatch these creatures, put them down, and what happened was the Sasquatch ended up putting them down. They were 21 to 28 footers that were reported. The tallest one was like 34 feet, so when Tracker A tells me they got 35 footers down there, that would not shock me at all. Those are the big fuckers that you have to watch out for. Those big ones, they know how to hunt. They know how to wear human clothes. They know how. I mean, they're smart. The bigger they are, the smarter they are. The more intelligent they are. I believe, they even know how to understand our language. May not know how to speak it, but they know from our tones and what we say, what we're saying in a sense. They know how to understand us from our body language. It's been reported that these things, that the taller ones, the bigger ones, wear like a body armor, but it's not a body armor. It's like trees that have the bark tore off, like redwood trees, and they make vests out of them to protect themselves. I mean, they've been seen wearing these by other cryptozoologists, and it's like, I've never seen it. I would like to see something like that. That would be intriguing, but to get that close to the big ones again, I don't know. The big ones are, like I said, the big ones are the ones that attacked. The big ones are the ones that attacked us in Alaska. They were the very intelligent ones. Do I want, but one of them, we did get spares and rocks thrown at us. Now, they all throw rocks, but when they start throwing spares, it's like, the Marines, like, went in the Carolinas, they said that they had spares, that the Bigfoot, they had spares, and I'm like, that's pretty much and that's how I knew they were taller than 18 feet, because the taller they are, the bigger they are. That means the longer they've lived, and the more intelligent they are. That movie was based on truth. There was a lot of reports of them wearing masks, of making masks out of tree bark and stuff. They made that movie off the reports of cryptozoologists at Primal Rage. I've seen that. I've studied that movie. I've studied that movie for what it's saying. The real meaning is saying how intelligent these creatures are. That is so close to the truth. I mean, which means there were other cryptozoologists that they got these reports from. See, I've seen stuff like that, but I haven't seen stuff like that up close. I was fighting them at the time. So, and I wasn't really paying too much attention. But yeah, some of them did wear masks, but but they were intelligent. Creature we fought, not one of them was less than 18 feet tall. So, but they were up in the 20s and 30s. That was up in Alaska. And there were giant bears, those giant wolves that you hear about. They're all up in Alaska. A lot of the giants live up north. But now apparently they're being seen in the U.S. Why? Because the feeding is good down here. What they feed on up there, they can now feed anywhere. That would be interesting to see. I would love to see that. Groot from that one movie. Yeah. Primal Rage is about the about the best Bigfoot movie you can get if you're really into Bigfoot, really know what they're really saying. You know, when they have a movie like that come out, your average person goes and looks at, oh, it's a scary movie and stuff, like about Bigfoot attacking people. But to a cryptozoologist or someone who studies Bigfoot, they had to get that information for that movie someplace. And when you look at the detail that this movie takes and does, you'll understand that what we look at. That detail had been reported by someone for them to get that detail to put into that movie on these Sasquatch. To you, to the average viewer, it's just a monster movie. But, you know, with intelligent beings, the thing is that it's based off a true story, a true actual encounter of these creatures. Maybe not episode or not section for section, but close enough, you know. Especially when they got detailed masks and spears and vests and stuff on, or made out of tree bark, and you know that has been reported several times by cryptozoologists over the years from the Canadian and Alaska areas. Not so much down here, but if the 25 and the 30 footers are down in the U.S., we got to watch out for that because they're going to teach the younger ones, the 9 footers and 12 footers, how to do this. And when they start doing that, and the food starts running out, that's when we're going to have to worry because they're going to have intelligence on how to, I've never seen that one. Ah, okay. That's why I'm saying they're going to start teaching the younger ones, the 9 footers, the 12 footers, you know, the 8 footers on how to make spears, on how to make vests, how to make masks, how to manipulate humans. Have a good night, Greg. You know, when they start teaching the rest of their people, if you will, how to lure us and basically conquer us, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Because I know the minute the food chain starts running out, they move down here because the food is abundant. When that abundance goes, we're next on the food chain. I mean, these things conquered 13 highly trained Marines. And I've actually seen that, you know, firsthand when I was in the military, when I was in Alaska. But they did this in North Carolina a few months back. And these creatures are no joke. I mean, we're trained in hand-to-hand combat. But see, we're trained to defend ourselves and to attack other humans. We're not trained for any type of animalistic type behavior. We're not trained in, no pun intended, but literal guerrilla warfare. In other words, animal warfare. We're not trained to go against animals. I mean, we've got experience from going against animals. We've had certain experience in how to bring an animal down. But when you fight them hand to hand, especially a Sasquatch, and the minute he grabs onto you out of anger, right then you're done. You may survive it for a few minutes, you may survive for 15, 20 minutes. But I guarantee you, you won't win that fight. If they grab onto you, they're not letting you go till you're dead. No matter what you do to them. With my connections to the military, they told me about the 13 that out of the 18 Marines that died a few months back in North, was it somewhere in the Carolinas? Was it South or North? They didn't exactly specify. They just said the Carolinas. Good night, Lamont Sherry. Thanks for coming. Please share this out. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. But when it comes to Sasquatch, we will eventually have a battle with them. I know that battle with them is coming. Yeah. Uh, Guerrilla warfare, what I meant by that was actually attacking the gorillas, attacking the Bigfoot. We have no training and no experience in attacking and defending ourselves against Sasquatch because they use animalistic behavior that we're not trained. We're only trained to fight with other humans. That's what I'm saying. So no matter if you're a Marine, a Green Beret, a Navy SEAL, it doesn't matter what you are. You all the techniques you know are for other humans, not for animals, not for barbaric wild men. That's why when the fight comes, and I know it's coming. I don't know when, but it's coming soon. We're not going to be ready. We're going to be conquered by these creatures. Now, I'm not saying every human is going to die. I'm just saying that when they have a good population of food, they start breeding. And there has been more and more Bigfoot sightings and more of a population in many, many areas of the United States that we have to do something by taking the food source. We have to go back out there and hunt. And while we're hunting, we might come across them. They might try to fight us then to protect their food source. But it's our own fault. But it would be our own fault because we allowed the population of deer and turkeys and other game to grow, attracting the apex predators to take over the area. Yeah, Limon Sherry, that's definitely French. That's a nice name. I liked it. That's kind of a pretty name there, so I like that. Um, but when it comes to, like I said, when it comes to paranormal and Sasquatch, they attract each other. How, we don't know, but you can't use a spirit box to contact Sasquatch. They don't speak. Well, even if they did speak our language, they don't speak it to us. They ain't gonna speak us. It to us with spirit box. Um, like I said, I've got some ghost hunting and stuff coming up that some of my supporters want to see. I will do some of them. I would definitely check out these other areas. This is marshland, Tracker E. This is marshland that my boss wants to take me to. That's on his property I haven't been to yet. Now, we both know that marshland could be a very dangerous spot for me, especially if I go out there by myself. Because usually that's where they kind of hunker down during the day because not many animals go into the marsh because of the mud and stuff. So some of them do, but not all of them. I was thinking maybe they hunker down in the pine trees, but then there's a marsh up the other side of that we both know that would be a very dangerous spot. But if I find signs that they're there, I'm going to talk to my boss and let me put a shack or something out there, a cabin or a small shed or a shack or something I can use as a base and maybe spend a couple of nights out there and get some good video or something if I can catch anything, Because these creatures are smart as humans are. So if they know what we're up to, and obviously they know what I'm up to because they've been watching me the whole time I've been out there, and they don't forget very easy. I mean, obviously I haven't been attacked yet. I've been growled at. I've been growled at several times out there, but I haven't really been attacked, or I've had rocks thrown at me, but the minute I would back up from that area, the rocks would stop. Basically, too close. A lot of times they'll give you a friendly warning, but you still don't trust them. You still don't trust these creatures at all. Though I've got some ghost hunts I want to do in Galena. Galena is the whole town is haunted. because of the mining. It used to be an old mining silver town, so of course it's going to be. There's a lot of deaths and stuff there. A lot of the one of the parks they turned that used to be a mining camp. They turned it into a state park. So exactly, Tractor A. But that too is that's a good question. That's a good area to go with. Lee Tracker E just said that if you are a spirit, a disembodied spirit, you would want the biggest body, the baddest body that you can possess. And that would be a Sasquatch. Biggest, toughest, meanest, everything that you could possess. Knowing that you can rip, nothing. Yeah, you're not afraid of nothing. So yes, that would be almost perfect. That's a good point to bring up. And the reason that would be is that you're in the body of a Sasquatch. You're basically the earth is your kingdom and you're God, So it's like, especially if you're a 25-foot Sasquatch, you know. Yeah, that's about it. That's about it. And yeah, but as far as them possessing Sasquatch, I don't know. I mean, they possess humans, and I'm sure they possess dogs and cats and stuff like that. They have been known to. Spirits have. Maybe they do possess Sasquatch. Maybe that's why Sasquatch tears us apart, because it's a spirit demon. We don't know. All I know is these creatures like to eat humans. They like to rip us apart. And I don't think all of them are possessed. I think that's just their animal instinct, But I think I'm going to go ahead and get off here now. You all have a good night, good day, whatever it may be, wherever you're at. I'm Jim with Life's Adventures, keeping it real. Y'all take care. God bless you all.